Welcome, friends, to our magical 30-day challenge. We are bringing you a new story every single day.
This is day 26. Like and subscribe to help us reach our 100,000 subscriber goal together. In a kingdom built upon the peaks of sleeping volcanoes, where the sky was always sunset orange, lived the Fire Prince, Ignis. The sky here was painted in eternal shades of sunset orange, violet, and deep burning red. Rivers of liquid gold lava flowed through the streets like water, bubbling and popping with intense heat. In the center stood the Magma Palace, a fortress carved from black obsidian that glowed with inner fire. Inside lived Prince Ignis, a boy made entirely of living, flickering embers and warm light. Ignis was handsome and bright, with hair that was not hair at all, but a dancing, playful flame. He sat on his throne of hot coals, sighing deeply, for he was terribly, terribly bored. He tried to play with a pet salamander, but the creature just slept on a hot rock, lazy and dull. He tried to sculpt a statue out of lava, but it just melted back into a puddle of goo.
Everything here is the same. Hot, bright, and burning. I wish I could feel something cool.
Ignis walked to the very edge of the cliff where the heat stopped and the gray mist began. He looked out across the great gray divide, a vast canyon of fog that separated his world from the unknown. His father, the massive King Magma, rumbled up behind him, his footsteps shaking the ground.
Step back from the edge, my son. Beyond the mist lies the damp darkness. It is fatal to our kind.
Ignis obeyed, but as he turned back to the fire, he saw a single blue spark floating in the distant fog. Far across the divide, in the shimmering kingdom of tides, lived the Water Princess, Aqua. Her world was a paradise of cascading waterfalls, floating bubbles, and crystal-clear pools. The light here was cool turquoise and soft blue, reflecting off the water that flowed everywhere. Princess Aqua was made of living water. Her skin rippled like a lake, and her hair was a flowing waterfall. She floated gracefully through her palace of ice and glass, but her blue eyes were full of sadness. She tried to weave a tapestry out of sea foam, but it dissolved into bubbles before she could finish. She tried to organize the singing fish into a choir, but they just swam away, distracted and fluid.
My world is always changing, slipping through my fingers. I wish...
She swam to the edge of the eternal waterfall, looking out across the misty gray divide. Her mother, Queen Tsunami, rose from the deep water, a towering wave of authority.
Do not look at the orange light, Aqua. That is the burning death. One touch, and you will vanish into steam.
Aqua nodded respectfully, but in her heart, she felt that the orange light looked more like a hug than a death. One magical day, a rare phenomenon occurred. A storm cleared the fog of the gray divide. A spectacular, solid rainbow bridge formed, arching high over the canyon, connecting fire and water. Ignis saw the bridge touching his lava fields. Without thinking, he stepped onto it, leaving smoky footprints. Aqua saw the bridge touching her lake. She flowed onto it, gliding effortlessly upward. They climbed higher and higher, leaving their parents and their kingdoms far below. At the very peak of the arch, high above the world, the two elementals finally met face to face. Ignis froze, staring at the girl who shimmered like a diamond and flowed like a river. Aqua froze, staring at the boy who glowed like the sun and flickered with endless energy.
You are the cold one. My father said you would extinguish me.
And you are the burning one. My mother said you would boil me away.
They circled each other curiously. Ignis felt a strange coolness radiating from her. Aqua felt a gentle heat. Ignis picked a flower made of fire and offered it to her. As she reached for it, the heat made her hands steam. She pulled back, and he dropped the flower, which turned to ash on the rainbow floor.
We cannot touch. We are too different. It is impossible.
Maybe touching isn't the only way to be close. Sit with me.
They sat on the rainbow, close but not touching, talking for hours about lava and oceans, steam and smoke. But the universe did not like opposites mixing, and deep in the gray valley, something woke up. It was Smog, the steam dragon, a creature born of the chaotic, dirty mix of soot and vapor. Smog was not solid like rock, nor fluid like water. He was a choking, shifting cloud of gray malice.
Order! Balance! Separation! I hate them all! I will turn this world into a...
The dragon flew up from the canyon, blotting out the stars with his massive wings of ash. He roared, a sound like 1,000 hissing kettles, and slammed his tail into the rainbow bridge. The rainbow shattered into 1,000,000 shards of colored light, crumbling beneath the prince and princess. Ignis screamed as he fell, his flames trailing behind him like a comet. Aqua cried out as she plummeted, turning into a stream of falling rain. They tumbled down, down, down into the dark, forbidden gray valley below. Ignis landed hard in a pile of gray dust. The impact sent a cloud of soot into the air. He stood up, coughing. His bright orange flame was dim now, flickering weakly in the stale air. Aqua landed in a dry riverbed. The dry ground immediately tried to soak her up. She struggled to keep her form together, her edges turning into mist. She was fading.
Aqua! Where are you? Where are you? I could barely see my own hands in this fog.
Ignis. But I am here. But I am weak. So weak.
Ignis saw a faint blue glimmer in the distance and ran toward it, his feet stumbling on loose rocks. He found her huddled against a boulder. He wanted to hug her, to warm her, but he knew it would kill her. Instead, he breathed gently, sending a wave of warm air near her, but not on her. The gentle warmth energized her water molecules, and she stood up, looking a little brighter. In return, she waved her hands and pulled moisture from the air, creating a cool mist around him. The mist fed his fire without dousing it, making his flames burn blue and hot. They realized that in this hostile place, they needed each other to survive. They saw a light in the distance, the elemental crystal, the only way home. But the path was blocked. First, they faced a wall of iron thorns, sharp and dry as bone. Aqua tried to squeeze through, but the thorns threatened to separate her droplets.
Stand back! Fire clears the way for new growth.
Ignis concentrated, blasting a stream of white-hot fire that turned the thorns to ash in seconds. Next, they reached the Whispering Ravine, a gap too wide to jump, filled with howling wind. Ignis looked down, afraid. Fire cannot fly without fuel, and there was none here.
Trust me. Step onto the mist.
Aqua stretched her body out, turning into a bridge of high-pressure water and ice. Ignis ran across her back, his heat creating a cushion of steam that let him glide across safely. They reached the other side, tired but triumphant. They were learning to dance together. They reached the elemental crystal, pulsating with white light in the center of a crater. Suddenly, smog descended, landing with a ground-shaking thud between them and the crystal.
You are persistent little specks. Why won't you just fade away into the gray?
Smog opened his mouth and unleashed a torrent of dirty, choking ash. Ignis threw fireballs, but they just vanished into the dragon's smoky body. Aqua fired water jets, but the dragon just drank them and grew larger and more humid. Smog swiped his tail, knocking Ignis into a wall of rock. His light flickered dangerously low. He swiped a claw, splashing Aqua across the dry ground. She struggled to reform.
We cannot beat him apart. Fire feeds him heat, and water feeds him mass.
Then we must give him something he cannot digest. Something new.
They looked at each other and nodded. It was a dangerous gamble. They ran toward each other, not to collide, but to spin. Ignis ran clockwise, Aqua ran counterclockwise. They circled each other faster and faster. They created a vortex. The intense heat met the intense cold in a controlled spin. Instead of steam, the reaction created something solid, obsidian glass. Thousands of sharp, shiny black shards materialized in the air around them. With a synchronized shout, they launched the storm of glass at the dragon. The glass shards didn't pass through the smoke, they cut it. They solidified the ash. Smog roared in confusion as his smoky body began to turn heavy and brittle. The glass hardened his form, turning the dragon into a massive frozen statue of gray stone. A final piece of glass hit the statue, and cracks spread instantly across its surface. Crash! The dragon shattered into a pile of harmless pebbles. The air cleared instantly. Ignis and Aqua stopped spinning, collapsing on the ground, exhausted but alive. They looked down. The dusty ground beneath them had turned into a smooth, beautiful floor of black glass. Ignis stepped on it. It did not melt. Aqua stepped on it. It did not freeze. They realized they could build a world here, a place of glass, steam, and light. Using the elemental crystal, they transformed the Gray Valley into the Kingdom of Obsidian. Beautiful black towers rose up, glowing with warm orange light and cooled by blue fountains. King Magma and Queen Tsunami came down from the mountains, weeping tears of lava and water. We thought you were lost forever, but you have found something better. You have created harmony out of chaos. Ignis and Aqua sat on their new glass thrones, side by side. They wore special gloves made of the magic glass, so they could finally hold hands. We will always be different, Aqua. I will always burn. and you will always flow. But together, we make the world shine. And so, the Fire Prince and the Water Princess ruled their new kingdom in perfect balance. In the gardens, the warmth of the fire and the moisture of the water created the most beautiful flowers the world had ever seen. Ignis used his heat to shape the city, crafting towers of glass that touched the sky. And Aqua used her flow to cool the stone and fill the fountains, bringing life to the streets. The elemental crystal pulsed in the center of the city, a symbol of their unity. Even the memory of the dragon was turned into joy as the children played upon the frozen stone. As the sun set, the obsidian city reflected the sky, becoming a mirror of the heavens. And they lived happily ever after, proving that even opposites can find perfect harmony.
Did you love this magical tale? Please like, share, and subscribe.